So Star Wars has been around longer than all of us. It's a franchise that's about 50 years old. It's such a major part of popular culture. I'd love to hear about your relationship to Star Wars and what it means to both of you to be cast on the show.
Yeah, sure. I really like that you use the phrase popular culture because that is something that feels so mind blowing to be a part of it. I guess I think often about why Star Wars has such a large impact on popular culture, and I really think it's because of its themes and the morals that it holds. I think it teaches us a lot about light and dark, and power and corruption, and fear, and how fear is one of the most dangerous emotions to lean into. And I think that's something that continues to be relevant across time, across generations, and across even countries. And so to be able to be a part of something that's messaging is that powerful is like as an actor is just a complete dream come true.
Man, how do I top that answer? I was just gonna say I just thought the lightsaber fights were cool. But
Balance.
yeah. I mean, I like it as a kid. You do kind of get pulled in by like the 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 grand fights and spaceships and the thought of being out in space, and then you truly do get pulled in by these larger themes. And that's the beautiful part about it. You know, and you just it's it's such a yeah it's a special you get a real emotional attachment to a lot of these stories, and they're stories that you can share with your kids or your parents, and that's the beautiful part about Star Wars.
And there's been so many Star Wars films and shows. What is it about the Acolyte that sets it apart from what we've seen before? What's going to blow fans' minds?
Ooh, so much.
Well, I think fans that love sequences like that of Darth Maul hopefully will gravitate towards our show because we have fast-paced action sequences that are greatly influenced by martial arts films. And also Leslie and our stunt coordinator Chris Cowan worked really hard to ensure that the lightsaber itself wasn't too heavy so that they could be used in faster sequences, kind of more like the prequels, which actually all of the light was put in post with CGI. And then with the sequels, they were actually they were practical. And now we have a new kind of lightsaber that is practical but much lighter.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's a great entry point for people who aren't even Star Wars fans to get into the universe, because you don't need to know certain iconic characters or who these characters are. Really, it's just a great story to be told. You can actually take the story and put it in a different universe, and it can still be a well-told murder mystery. So yeah, it's just a well crafted arc of a story that I think a lot of people will appreciate, and then on top of that, you get to enjoy like the fights and the practical sets, the lightsabers and the costumes.
I just
and all
talked
that
about
stuff.
lightsabers for a long time.
My favorite thing about Star Wars is just how alive the world feels. There's so many amazing creatures and machines and robots and aliens and costumes. I'd love to hear about what's it like stepping on set. What does it feel like? How does it change your performance as an actor? What's it like to just be there amidst all the Star Wars chaos?
Yeah.
I mean, I just thought of, I think a lot of the times when we watch Star Wars, or even as actors, playing certain parts, when we watch Star Wars, we're being taken into a different world. You know, it's like we get to experience something that is incredibly, I don't know, just not the norm, and we get to just for an hour experience this movie or this show, and it was taken to another level when we got to be on set. We really got to. It was like my normal life was my work life, and it was my dream life. It was all the things engulfed into one. It was such a special experience. Yeah, it was. There was nothing like it, especially with the practical sets and all the practical creatures. We were very fortunate to have that going into this.
Yeah, I went on the Disneyland ride the other day, the Star Wars ride at Disneyland, and it's this massive set with tons of stormtroopers, and I walked in, I looked around, and I was like, I feel like I'm back at work,
Yeah.
which is a wild thing to even realize or say out loud. There's just so much artistry and craftsmanship and detail that goes into these huge sets, which are massive in scope. And you see people set dressing things that are so intricate. There's movable props and creatures and like fantastical elements on each set you go on. There's droids. There's incredible VFX. There's costumes and animals that you don't even necessarily see in the show for more than a second, but like they're perfectly brought to life with so much detail. It's just, I think like, if you love film, which everyone on this set does, and that I think that's also what makes Star Wars, is the kinds of people that it attracts. You just feel so blessed to be able to witness so much artistry going into one show.
Great answers. Thank you so much for your time, and I can't
Thank
wait for
you.
everyone to experience the show. I had a lot of fun watching it.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.